Do you get that feeling that you're stuck in a rut, or that maybe your treatment progress has plateaued? Maybe you're even having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning? If that's you, then stick around, because I'm going to give you 3 tools that will help reignite your energy and give you a sense of purpose and drive. Now, before we begin, I do want to share with you that the tools that we'll be talking about have shown to be highly effective with a variety of people, with successful people, with people who say they have a high satisfaction with their life, with athletes, and most importantly, with stroke survivors. Now, the first tool I want to talk about is goal setting. Yeah, I know, you may have tried it before and perhaps you said it doesn't work. But I'm going to walk you through the correct steps to set good goals that will work for you and the process that's involved. So the first thing I'd like you to do is think of what you would like to be doing 5 years from now. We're going to look at long-term goals, and then we're going to break it down and break them down into short-term goals. Don't just think about, well, I want to be doing better. What does that look like? Come up with the behavior that you would like to see yourself doing. Maybe you would like to see yourself running a race or riding a bike. Maybe you'd like to see yourself back at work. Would you be going out with your friends? Would you be camping? Would you be taking trips? So write it down, 5 years. Once you have that, then think of maybe 1 or 2 things that you would really like to work on, things that are important to you, that would make a difference in your life. So pick one of those things, and then we're going to look at it more realistically. What would you be doing if you were to work on that consistently for the next year? What would you be doing in the next year? Once you begin breaking it down, then you break it down, even further from a year. Well, what would that look like in 6 months? And you don't know. This is the thing with goal setting, is you're constantly reassessing and you're adapting your performance. It's not an all or nothing type thing, and I think that's where people get stuck, is they have an unrealistic expectation of what they want to do, and if they don't meet that in a certain time, they give up. But goals take adjustment, it takes thinking through, it takes problem solving. So, this is a good starting point, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how to adapt those goals. But let's take that year goal and break it down into 6 months. What realistically would that look like? Once you have your monthly goal, then you can begin thinking about, okay, weekly goal. What can I do to obtain this goal this week? And then you can even break it down into daily goals. So the whole point of goal setting is it moves you. It moves you from point to point. And you have to have a goal to know where you're going. And I think a lot of times that's where we get stuck in a rut, all of us, is we don't set the goals, so we just find that, our life is routine, day in, day out, or, no change is really happening. So if you want change, if you really want to see progress in your rehabilitation, then it's time to really think about how are you going to move from place to place. And so you break it down into manageable parts, realistic parts, and if you find that you can't meet that goal, say that weekly goal, then you need to step back and really think about, can I adapt this goal somehow? If I'm not making progress in my walking, perhaps I need to work more on just strengthening my legs. Or if I'm not making progress in feeding myself, maybe I need to start using adaptive equipment. So the part of reassessing the goal not only looks at, where you're getting stuck, but how can you work through that problem? And that actually leads me to the second tool I want to give you for reprogramming yourself for success, and it goes hand in hand with goal setting, is your self-talk. Now, your self-talk is the things that you say to yourself. And a lot of times, if you really start paying attention to how you talk to yourself, you'll find that you're talking yourself out of things. You may be saying things like, oh, I can't do that, or why even try, or, I've tried that before, it's not going to work, or, people will just make fun of me if they see me trying. But, we set ourselves up for failure by the things we say to ourselves. So to reprogram yourself, that helps in following through with and adapting goals, is saying things to yourself that encourage you. Like, yeah, I couldn't meet this goal this week, but you know what? Let me tweak that goal, or let me try something different. Instead of beating yourself over the head like, shame on me, I didn't meet it, instead encourage yourself. Find ways to motivate yourself forward. Remind yourself of what you're aiming for. Again, this is where self-affirmations come into play as well. Sometimes we're so programmed to be negative that we have to reprogram ourselves to be more positive. For example, waking up in the morning and say, yes, I'm going to work on that goal today. Or yes, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to make it a good day. Or yes, I'm going to find positive things that are happening in my life today. So it's a framework, it's a programming, and it's being very conscious of what you're saying to yourself in your head, or maybe even out loud, and changing it. Now, the third tool I want to talk about briefly that helps to program ourselves for success or satisfaction is visualization. And this is so important for stroke survivors, because it's not only helping to reconnect pathways in your brain, which they call neuroplasticity, but it's also evoking a feeling. You want to evoke a feeling with the visualization so that your body is getting energized to work toward that goal you want to do. Maybe you want to program yourself to see yourself running that 5K. That may even be a better step yet. Is visualizing yourself getting pumped up and ready to run this race, and you're talking positively to yourself, and then see yourself taking the steps, actually see your arms moving, feel yourself taking the breaths, and look around at the sights you're seeing as you're running. Feel the exhilaration of being able to run and being free. And the whole experience is what is the visualization. And it's that whole experience that connects different parts of our brain and helps us reprogram it so that it's really our body's anticipating getting to that point. So it's preparing your body to meet that goal. I get so excited in talking about this stuff because it works. It works for me. It works for other people. It just takes a commitment to do it. Anything in life worth having does take time, and it takes commitment. So give these 3 tools a try and see how it works for you. And I wish you the best of luck. And until next time.